Hello, traders, and welcome to the Friday Wrap Up, October 6, 2015. Currently 19:22 hours on Wall Street. Traders is brought to you by FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders, the purpose of this video is we're going to take a look at some daily charts, and we're looking at price action and what we could expect in the week ahead. Traders, before we get going, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday, and I am your moderator for the Friday Wrap-Up, and also the market opening preview, which I bring to you every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I started trading in 2006. In 2008, I retired from a wonderful career, 27 years in the fire rescue department out of the great state of Florida in the United States. Traders, I trade every single trading day. I am always looking for opportunities and probabilities to be successful in my trades. And no, I do not win every trade. I wish I could tell you I did, but I don't. So how do I trade? Well, I listen to fundamentals. I don't trade fundamentals. In other words, I don't trade the number that's released. I might wait 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then trade the result of the number. But I don't trade the actual number release. I've tried it. Over the years, I've really tried to learn to be a fundamental trader that can trade the numbers. I'm just not good at it. And if you're not good at it, don't do it. Have somebody else do it, but don't do it. So I don't trade the actual numbers. So I don't trade fundamentals. I'm a technician. I trade technical charts. I look at candlesticks, price action, Fibonacci. I fib everything, and I look for opportunities. I use Ikimoku. I use harmonics. Anything that'll give me an edge to show me that I can get into a trade safely and be successful. All right, let's head on over to the legal stuff. This is our risk disclaimer. Traders, remember that Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, if you're trading your rent money, your mortgage, your car payment, your food, whatever, please get a demo account and do not do that. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's head on over to the commentary. All right, this week's commentary. If we take a look at the indices, I'm not going to read them off this week, but it was pretty much in the green out of the U.S. The S&P 500 was negative 0.73%, that was a good thing for me as I trade a different instrument in the New York session. If you take a look at the Eurozone, again, all in the green except for the FTSE, which was negative 0.17%. And if you take a look at what happened over in Asia, very mixed, very mixed. 3 in the green, 2 in the red. So very mixed in Asia. So that's what's going on in the indices. Pretty mixed account of what had happened, and we'll see how that goes. You know what? Let me grab a calendar here, and let's just take a look at what we have coming in Asia for our next Asia session. I don't see anything high impact. Got some German trade balance in the London session. That's a medium impact. And Eurogroup meetings are this week. We have medium impact housing starts out of Canada. And that is it, folks. Very slow trading day on a Monday. And I don't see any holidays, so it looks like we're clear to go for Monday. All right, now that wraps up what's going on with that. Traders, I thought the trading week was pretty active. I thought it was pretty good. I thought there was a lot of pips to be made. I didn't make those pips, but I thought there were some really good pips to be made and a pretty positive outcome. Thank you to NFP. And like I said, I do not trade NFP. I didn't even have my computer on during NFP. I was out to dinner on Friday night, which is 9:30 p.m. Friday night is 9:30 a.m. in Wall Street. And at 8:30, I was out to dinner and had no intentions of putting on my computer. And it was just a fluke that at about 11 p.m., I was still out and happened to turn on my phone and check out my platform. And I was in a Aussie yen trade short. And thank you to NFP. It gave me 41 pips. So, not intending to trade NFP, but ended up I was already in a trade, and it gave me a nice 41 pips. So it was a nice weekend. I think we have a good week ahead. I think things are moving along. I think the Fed's jerking our chain. I think they should be ashamed of themselves. I think those FOMC members should be ashamed of themselves. Get your act together. Make a decision. Would they do that with their family? Would they do that with their children? Would they, dangle a carrot and then pull it away and then put it back out and then dangle it away? Oh, excuse me, traders. I think it was pretty sad of the way that the Fed is reacting. However, I will say NFP numbers came out very, very well, and unemployment's now down to 5%, and versus 5.1, and the only number that really struck me was the number for layoffs. How many layoffs they had in the month? Pretty big number, and I don't remember the number right off the top of my head, but it was a big number. And that is these big companies laying people off. Well, half of them will leave in America and going outside of America because of the tax laws for companies, which is a shame. I mean, why that has not been reformed yet, I have no idea. I mean, we can go back to the Carter administration. They were talking about reforming company taxes, and nothing's been done. But yeah, that really alarmed me about the amount of layoffs that we had last month. That's these companies, cutting back. You get these companies cutting back 1,500 people, 10,000 people. It adds up. It adds up. So it was a big number. But I'm looking for the week ahead. I'm energized. I'm ready to go, and it's going to be pretty interesting. Wow, we're 7 minutes into this, and we haven't even started. We got 16 charts to look at. So let's get moving, and let's start with our euro dollar. As usual, it is bearish, 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 and we're at the 0796 area. So, this has broken this 08 level. This is pretty scary. If you look left of the chart there, this has broken this major support here. And traders, I don't know. This just looks to me like this is just on its way down. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of next week. We're at 075. It wouldn't surprise me at all. These are just horrible, horrible numbers, and the euro is just tanking. There's no good news out of the euro, and it is tanking. So if you look at the dollar Swiss, what you see on the dollar Swiss, they're correlated, right? What one pair does, the other pair does the opposite of. And if you look at the dollar Swiss, you see that dollar Swiss is just taking off, just absolutely taking off. This is probably a record high here. I haven't seen the dollar Swiss this high in a lot of years in my trading. So, this is just absolutely just booming to the upside. So, again, the purpose of this video is price action. What are we going to look for next week? Well, in the euro, I'm only looking to sell it. Now, I've been in that mode for a long time. In the Swissy, I don't trade the dollar Swiss, but again, if you are right, you want a day pullback, or depending on what time frame you are, but you want to pull back, and then you want to take this to the long side. The 200 exponential moving average is an issue, so you pretty much, for 5 days, we had higher highs and higher lows on this dollar Swissy. So just absolutely unbelievable. Let's take a look at the pound. And, if you take a look at the pound, again, just absolutely dumped. One, they dumped a couple of times, a couple of days. One on data. Two, of course, NFP being the last scandal that, it's NFP reaction. What surprised me is very little pullback on this daily chart. I'm sure it was a lot bigger on the smaller time frames. But again, if you look left of the chart, it has taken out major support levels. Major support levels here. we are at 50.46. That is just unbelievable. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. Um, if you go back 2 weeks ago, we were dangling in the 55s, the low 56s, and here we are at 50.46. So if you're going to trade this, I'm bearish, right? Let's sell it. Take it to the downside. Uh, Dollar yen. A lot of my friends and a lot of chat rooms that I'm in um, really are starting to trade the dollar yen. I don't trade the dollar yen. I just use it as a tool, showing me what the dollar index is doing. And I do have a dollar index chart for you this week. So if you take a look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all week long, we've had higher highs and higher lows, and the dollar just took off on Friday, right? Boom, there she goes. Have a nice day. See you next time. Just absolutely, absolutely crazy, huh? Just moved right out there. All right, let's take a look at the euro yen. Another great pair. I like to trade this on a regular basis, and it's bearish. I mean, not a lot to say about this. It's bearish, and we just want to continue the bearish motion. We got now this last daily candle is a doji, and when you see a wick that's this big at support, I'd be looking for a pullback here on what I call Observation Monday. So you're going to watch this to the upside, because I think there's a good chance we're going to get an up candle on a Monday. And I think we're going to see that a lot on a lot of these pairs. And that's just due to profit taking. Remember, Asia has not been able to react to NFP. They were closed. So, Asia's a pretty significant market, and they're going to react to this NFP come the next Asia session. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see. And I think we're going to see a lot of profit taking. So we might see a couple of reversal candles just for one day, and then hopefully to resume the trend. Let's take a look at my good friend the Beast, the pound yen. Interesting last candle, doji, hugging that 200 exponential moving average. That's one thing about the pound. Pound really likes the 200 exponential moving average. It likes hanging out there, sitting around, doing nothing, chilling, as they would say. And you have to say that if you look at this pair, this is pretty bullish. If it takes out this high, I'd be concerned. If you take a look left of the chart, you'll see this doji candle with this big spike, right, above the dotted line here. And if it takes out that high, I think away we go, because if you look after that, left of the chart, there is nothing in the way. This is a wide open space. And that'll take us up all the way to 55.47. So 155.47. So this has the opportunity to go straight to the upside. So just keep an eye on it. However, the current candle is doji, so it can do anything at this 200. It can end up falling, for all we know. Because I don't necessarily think the pound is strong. I don't think the pound is too strong. Let's take a look at the Aussie yen. Thank you, Aussie yen, for that red candle on Friday. Didn't react too much to NFP. It normally didn't. I wasn't expecting it to. And believe it or not, on that Aussie yen where I grabbed those 41 pips, it was pretty funny because I actually entered into that trade about 90 minutes into the European session. So I was actually in the trade for some time, and I just hadn't hit my take profit area yet. But I was waiting, but it just didn't hit my take profit area yet. And then I went out. I went out for dinner. My stop was in place. Everything was okay, and I was not in profit, by the way, when I left. But my stop was pretty tight. I wasn't going to give it much of a leash. Well, it didn't need much of a leash. It just, if you take a look at the Aussie yen 1 hour chart or 30-minute chart, the spike is just unbelievable and just did me a favor. So the dollar yen, again, if you take a look at the chart, it's bearish. If you put a trend line on the top here of this congestion, you can see that it's bearish. and I just want to sell this, right? We just want to sell it. Continue selling it. It's bearish. Take a look at the Aussie dollar. Now the Aussie dollar we know is bearish. It's been bearish for what, 2 years now, 3 years, and it just keeps sinking, just keeps coming down. But I'll be honest with you, I'll show you, once it's back down to 66, they don't want this at 70. They want this down to 66, 65, 63, right? So, they're okay with this. They want this down. They don't want this up in the 70s or 71, that's for sure. So, the mode for next week is we're just going to keep to sell this. Sell, right? We just want to sell the Aussie. The big thing you need to worry about is, well, not worry about, but just watch, is that it's a commodity pair. And as long as it's a commodity pair, we need to keep an eye on it, right? We just need to watch when data is released. That's why data is so important. I have a news feed that I pay for. I've been paying for since like 2007, 2008. And it's not cheap, but it's so important that you have data that's coming through your computer all the time, whether you get a free feed or whatever you get, but you have to have news. If you're a person that reads a lot on the internet, you know what? You can get, a news feed that's cheap, and you can read the news as it's coming out. But you need to know what's going on around the world, folks. It will affect your trading. I'm so sorry to say that, but it is true. Fundamentals and data, and all you need is somebody getting in front of a microphone and they can swing your trade the other way. And wouldn't it be nice to know if you had a 15-minute warning from a data source, a news data source, saying that person is going to get on a microphone and make a statement, so you can get to break even and protect yourself. Let's take a look at the euro pound. And I haven't traded the euro pound. I've always used it as a tool, but of course the pound is stronger than the euro, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing here. And nice candle on Friday. This is this doji. So again, I'm bearish in this. I just want to sell this. I have no intentions of buying the euro, folks. But I would like to sell this, and I'm sure if you go down on a lower time frame, this is probably in a pretty nice spot. This pullback here from this big blue candle, and now we have this doji candle from Friday. This is probably in a pretty nice spot that we can get into this pretty cleanly. Folks, this is break time. Why don't you just take a deep breath here? Take a deep breath, and let's take a little break here for about 2 seconds. Okay, break time's over. Let's get back to work. Apparently I put a slide in and forgot about it. All right, let's look at the New Zealand dollar, which is one of my favorite pairs to trade. It is bearish, folks. If you open this and expand this chart, this is bearish. It continues to be bearish. All I want to do is sell the New Zealand dollar. You can see in price action. Remember, these are daily candles. This is a lot of days here, right? This is almost probably 3 weeks worth of candles here. We are bearish. Lower lows, lower highs, except for 1 or 2 candles. We are bearish. We got a lot of room to go to the downside. So, 62.40, down here, right? So we don't have to worry about nothing. We got plenty of room to sell this to the downside from this daily chart. Here's a dollar CAD, and the reason I put the dollar CAD in here is because of oil, right? If you look at oil, this is all about oil, folks. It's about dollar strength, but this is really all about oil. And just watch oil and the dollar CAD, and you get a good idea what's going on. So just keep that in mind. I don't trade the dollar CAD myself, but I do use it as a tool. And again, if I'm looking at oil, and I don't trade oil anymore, I love trading oil. I think trading oil you have some really good opportunities in oil futures, not oil forex. But if you look at oil futures, the problem was I was having to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. There's certain times of day you want to trade oil. Oil you don't trade just like all day. You get whipsawed around. So there's certain times of day you want to trade it, like a half hour before the New York Open, New York lunch, and then of course the New Maybe an hour and a half before the New York close. You want to trade oil. It gets this volatility, and I was having to get up at 2 and then 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. So I had to give up on my oil futures trading. I worked night shift my whole career, folks. I said when I came to Taiwan that when I retired that I was not working night shift again. All right, here's the Euro Aussie, a pair that I trade regularly, and I absolutely love it. It's bearish. It's bearish. It has its modes where it goes and gives you 100 pips to the upside. That's one thing about this pair. When it's in its mode, it does it, and you can get 100 pips real easy one way or another. But if you look at the big picture, it's bearish, and all we want to do is sell the Euro Aussie. Look at this Friday, huh? Absolute doji. Absolute doji. Indecision, right? Again, what are we going to see here come Monday? Who knows? But we're coming to some major support here. We have the EA resist support line, and we have a 200 exponential moving average. So you just be careful with that if you're going to trade this to the downside on Monday. I don't take a lot of trades on Monday. I call it observation Monday. Just watch what's going on. And I did find a dollar chart, and the dollar just is up there, and it's just hanging up there. The dollar is strong, folks. Even though the Fed is, doing their thing, whatever I don't think they're doing anything except talking too much. I think every Fed member must have spoken on Thursday and Friday, and they just really get under my skin. And you can't let people get under your skin when you're trading, folks. You really can't. You got to laugh at it. Because you can't let them aggravate you. It really affect your trading to the negative. So you just gotta let it just bounce off you, like there's nothing to it. And don't let the Fed get under your skin. The Fed's gonna do what the Fed's gonna do, and we're gonna trade. It doesn't make a difference whether it's good news or bad news. The currency pairs either they go up or they go down, and we just need to do an analysis to make sure that we know that we're on the right side of the market and enter our trades and put an intelligent stop in. Don't forget, if you're going to trade, make sure you put your intelligent stop in there. Wow, 2 minutes over, not too bad today. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer than that. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I want to thank you for joining me this week for the Friday wrap-up, where we go over daily charts. Traders, please come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, enjoy your weekend break, and we'll catch you on the next Asia session for the market opening preview for another week of Forex trading. Traders, take care and have a great weekend. See you next time. Bye-bye.